Good evening and welcome to Making the Case. I'm Yodit Tewolde. Gwen Levy, a 76-year-old grandmother and lung cancer survivor, is sitting in a D.C. jail waiting to return to prison. Why? She was said to have violated the terms of her parole. How? She didn't answer a call from her parole officer. After serving 16 years of a 24-year prison sentence for a nonviolent drug offense, she was released on parole to home confinement. Ms. Levy was one of some 4,500 nonviolent and elderly inmates released from federal prison in the last year due to the risk of contracting the coronavirus. You might recall some of Trump's high-profile cronies like Michael Cohen and Paul Manafort, who were also released for the same concerns. The difference, however, was unlike Ms. Levy, they served only a fraction of their sentences. Since being released, Ms. Levy reconnected with her kids, cared for her 94-year-old mother, and was looking for work while volunteering with prison advocacy organizations. She was also taking a computer course, one that caused her to miss a call from her parole officer, sending her right back to jail. There's no question she was in class, but she was still listed as an escape. Quote, "She could have been robbing a bank, so we're going to treat her as if she was robbing a bank." This is how the parole office justified violating Ms. Levy. We often talk about how the U.S. has more total prisoners than any other country in the world, a staggering 2.3 million. But another 4.5 million are under another form of correction control, meaning they're on probation or parole. People still on paper often describe it as being in prison while not being physically in prison. Here's the difference between probation and parole. Probation is a sentence of supervision given as an alternative to incarceration. Then there's parole, the type of supervision Ms. Levy was on, which is a form of post-release community supervision that's imposed after a person completes a felony prison sentence. People on either are constantly monitored and under the threat of being sent back to jail or prison if they violate its terms. And minor violations can cause a person to be sent back to prison. Violations like being broke, so you're falling behind on supervision fees and fines. Missing curfew because you're having to pick up extra shifts to make ends meet. Not having childcare, so you missed a meeting with your parole officer. Or, as in this case, not answering the phone when he or she calls because you're too busy trying to learn a skill to get a job that parole doesn't help you find. There are more people sent to prison not for committing a new crime, but because of a technical violation of a probation or parole term. People become trapped in the system's cycle of surveillance and punishment. Nearly 25% of all state prison admissions each year are results of supervision violations, a key driver of prison's revolving door. Rather than helping Ms. Levy by providing her with the support needed to reintegrate into society, the parole system reincarcerated her instead. Gwen Levy's story is compelling, but it's not extraordinary. Again, she is one of millions in the U.S. under some form of correctional control. That's almost twice as many who are in jail and prison. When we talk about ending mass incarceration, the conversation needs to extend to mass supervision as well. All right, Daiwan Tatro. He knows this experience only too well, a senior advisor to the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee and government affairs officer at the Barred Prison Initiative. Daiwan is also on parole. When he read about Gwen Levy's case, it resonated with him, and he tweeted about it in a thread that has now gone viral. Daiwan, welcome to the show. Glad to have you.
Yodit, thank you for having me on.
All right, so Daiwan, before we get into Ms. Levy's case, I wanted to get into your own personal story, if you don't mind, because it's a remarkable one. Tell me about your life growing up and what led you to be incarcerated.
Well, Yodit, and some of this is cliche. You know, I grew up in the South End, the poorest neighborhood of Albany, New York, single-parent household. Like many young black men of my generation, coming out of similar circumstances, I made some really bad choices because I didn't have any really good options, and was sentenced to 12 years in prison. And while I was incarcerated, I transformed my life through the Barred Prison Initiative, which I've earned 2 degrees from Bard College, and have since been released and doing different types of important work.
So you were incarcerated for 12 years, and during that time you studied at Bard, which is part of the Columbia University system. So you attained this Ivy League degree, and a fact that many may not know, but your prison debate team actually beat Harvard's. Talk to me about that experience.
Yeah, in 2015, we went up against Harvard while I was incarcerated, and we won. That story went viral. I think it was like the fourth most searched story on Google in that year. But I think more fundamentally and why people picked up on the story, because what we did in prison on that stage that day really defied expectations of who incarcerated people were and what they're capable of.
Now, I know the Barred Prison Initiative was the subject of a Netflix documentary, College Behind Bars. Can you tell us more about the initiative and the work that you're doing with them now?
So, the Barred Prison Initiative, we have about 300 students across 6 different New York State correctional facilities, offering both AA and bachelor's degree. And not only do these individuals, men and women, obtain degrees, some of the best college degrees you can get, really, really rigorous educations, and they walk out of prison, and not only do they never go back, almost, they also walk out of prison into PhD programs at Cornell, at Yale, master's degree programs at Columbia, and are working overwhelmingly all over New York City to change the circumstances on the ground that led to their incarceration in the first place. And so the Barred Prison Initiative is really about the power of education to transform lives. And by the way, Yodit, until 1994, and the 1994 crime bill banned incarcerated people from drawing down federal Pell Grants, college and prison, the opportunity like I had, was a staple of what we would call rehabilitation in prison.
Now, Daiwan, tell me why access to education is so important for people behind bars and for people released on parole.
I think, and really want to make an important point here, just in relation to what's happening on the criminal justice reform field, is that we see some reforms happening on the back end, sentencing reforms, Rockefeller drug laws here in New York, the First Step Back at the federal level, some parole board reforms. We see stuff happening on the front end of mass incarceration, right? That's bail reform, more alternatives to incarceration. However, we see almost nothing happening for the people in this country who are incarcerated. And 95% of those individuals are returning back to their communities, right? If we want people to come home and become productive citizens in society, like Gwen Levy was trying to do, we need to equip them with the tools while they're incarcerated to build better lives post-release.
Right. So I know you've been out of prison for 4 years now, and you have 1 more year to go on parole. Can you talk to me about your own personal experience with being on parole?
Yeah, so I've been on parole here in New York for over 4 years. And I think that the first thing most people have to recognize is that parole in this country, as you outlined up front, Yodit, is one of the main drivers of mass incarceration, right? It is not an organization that facilitates success, rather one that perpetuates failure. Almost everything that I've been able to achieve has been despite being on parole. Parole didn't offer me housing support. Parole didn't offer me social services. Parole, the prison system didn't even give me an ID when I got out of prison, right? All of these things I had to do on my own. However, parole, if I come home after 9 o'clock at night, will send me back to prison, right? And so we have a system that is perpetuating failure rather than facilitating success.
Absolutely. Well, we've got way more to discuss, Daiwan. I know you're going to be sticking with us. We've got to go to commercial, but we've got more with Dyjuan Tatro when Making the Case returns. Welcome back to Making the Case. Still with me is Dyjuan Tatro. He's a government affairs officer at the Barred Prison Initiative and an advocate for parole and probation reform. All right, so Dyjuan, let's go back to Gwen Levy's case. I was told that her family reached out to you after you spoke out about her case. Is there any aspect of that conversation that you could share?
I'd just say that, I got an update from her grandson today, and the status of her case has not changed. And they just wanted to thank me for uplifting the story. But, that thanks also extends outward to everyone else who is paying attention to her case and interested in creating a more fair and equitable criminal justice system in this country.
Now, one of the things the parole officer said to her public defender was it didn't matter whether she was at a computer class, that she could have been robbing a bank, and that was how they were going to handle the case. We know this isn't, this is what typically happens, right? Talk to me about how often technical violations of parole like this get people sent back to prison.
Yes, Yodit, and that's a very important point, but I want to back up here on the subject of Gwen Levy and just point out something that I think is really, really important for all of us to think about. Gwen Levy was released from prison last year with 4,500 other people to protect her from the coronavirus because she's 76 years old and she's at risk, right? But not only are we questioning should we be questioning why she's sitting back in a jail cell right now, we need to be questioning why she was in prison at 76 years old last year, right? For example, right here in New York State, we have over 10,000 people over the age of 55 being warehoused in New York State prisons, and statistically, they are the least likeliest people to ever commit a new crime, right? They have effectively aged out of crime, and we are warehousing them, right? And so the injustice that Gwen is experiencing is not only in relation to parole, but into the fact that we are incarcerating and warehousing elderly people who pose no threat to public safety in this country. But on the note of technical violations of parole, right here in New York, if you look at the numbers in 2019, 40% of the people committed to state prison were on technical violations of parole. That's coming home after curfew, that is missing a parole appointment, that is not picking up a phone call from your parole officer like Gwen Levy did, that is smoking marijuana, right? And that is costing taxpayers nonsensical things like that have no relation to public safety, are costing taxpayers here in New York $680 million a year. Right? We're putting people back in prison for smoking weed. Weed's legal in New York.
Now, you're actively working to end the practice in New York where people are sent back to prison for simple technical violations of parole. I'm just going to put up a tweet that you posted. You tweeted, quote, New York spends $680 million a year unjustly imprisoning people for technical violations like marijuana use, which you just mentioned, or missing a curfew. 4,000 people are currently sitting in prison as a result of this injustice. The legislature has passed hashtag less is more and why to fix it. Tell Governor Cuomo to sign it. Tell us more about the Less is More Act.
So the Less and More Act is a comprehensive parole reform piece of legislation that was just passed out of the legislature here in New York. My good friend Donna Hilton and the people at the Cattell Center have spent many years pushing this campaign forward. My friend Brian Benjamin in the Senate was the lead sponsor on this. And what that bill will do is three really, really critical things to end parole as being a driver of mass incarceration. And so one, it's going to incentivize good conduct, right? So for example, I've been on parole for 4 years. I've never had any violations. I'm still on parole. So under Less is More, for every 30 days that you exhibit good conduct on parole, you get 30 days off of your parole sentence. Very, very important. You know, I have a full-time job. I got to take time out of my work days to go to parole still, right? That doesn't make sense. That's not helping me. That's not helping the community. Second to that is that the bill is going to strengthen the judicial process around parole violations and give incarcerated people who are subject to those violations some stronger legal protections. And then third, and really, really importantly here, is it is going to end the practice of sending people back to prison for technical violations of parole. Extremely important.
Daiwan, I was looking at your tweets earlier, and you had responded to Tom Cotton, Senator Tom Cotton, who tweeted, we must invest in our nation's prison system to ensure jails and prisons can safely hold inmates and provide them with an opportunity to become productive members of society. Was that the case when you were in prison?
You know, Yodit, absolutely not. You know, prisons in this country effectively serve to punish people, to warehouse people. They are black holes that our tax dollars are going down, and they are not keeping us safer and not making us a more just or equitable society. You know, I spent my time in prison up until the time I was able to enroll in college. doing nothing, right? There was no programming that the prison system offered that was going to allow me to effectively reintegrate back into society, right? And I like to tell people all the time, I'm not an exceptional person. I had an exceptional opportunity, and that opportunity was through the Barred Prison Initiative. But by and large, prisons are not serving people, right? They are failing us. The national recidivism rate is over 60%. 60% of the people released from prison this year nationally are going to be reincarcerated within 3 years, right? That is a monumental public policy failure.
And Daiwan, you said that when you were released, the state handed you $40 in a bus ticket, no housing support, no social services, not even an ID.
And that's a tragic situation, right? We incarcerate people for 5, 10, 15, 25, sometimes 50 years, and then tell them that they got to come back to society, be productive, pay taxes, rebuild their lives, but kick them out of prison with a bus ticket and $40. They go report to parole. Parole tells them we're doing everything to send you right back, right? And so it's a system that sets people up for failure at every level, right? And I was lucky that I had a network and sort of walked out of prison and straight onto a college campus and finished my degree post-release. But most people don't have those opportunities. I got an older brother who's been to prison. I got a younger brother who's been to prison. And unlike me, they didn't have access to education. And I watched the ways that they struggle every day. So my proximity to these issues is really, really deep.
All right, Dyjuan Tatro, Government Affairs Officer at the Barred Prison Initiative. Thank you so much again for joining us.
Yodit, thank you for having me.